Gerald Morgan, I'm coming out. I'm
I'm
bisexual.
coming out.
And
I want the world to know.
no. Life is a challenge.
How do you get through it?
Laughing at the dark and dirty. We walk you through all the naughty secrets of the adult industry, and you get to be a fly on the wall with two best friends in the business of boobs.
We want to hear your dirty secrets too.
If you have stories to share, questions for us, need advice, then send us an email to twndpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 702-900-6446. We'll always be laughing here. It's our favorite way to cope. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, and leave us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. And we thank you for coming this week.
Buzz Lightyear.
Don't worry about it, because what were you worrying about? Oh, don't worry.
Come here.
Laura, don't worry about the dark circles, because you still have the GoPro, which even though it shoots in 4K for some reason,
We are always
you look like you're made of like Play-Doh. Like it's so low quality when it zooms in. And I'm like, how is this 4K?
I am made of Play-Doh.
But you're not, because then you look at this and oh look, it's crooked. It's all right.
Yay!
Per last week's episode, apparently when we tell people it's crooked, David just straightens it in post. So it's cool, and we love David for that.
We love you, David.
So we weren't crazy. It was crooked. It continues to be crooked, and we progress. Now, you don't have to worry about the dark circles under your eyes, because not only do I not see them here in person in front of
Lies.
me, but we do not have the new camera. But the new camera is coming in. I found one that we're going to be able to have much better quality overall. This one's
Yay.
been not acting up for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But welcome back to the show.
Welcome.
I thought to start off, since the New Year's resolution is to be more relaxed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been very stressed.
Yes.
Me from hormones. All that PMS, terrible stuff that one day I'm flying high and the next day I've hit rock bottom and all of my limbs are broken and I'm bleeding out, yet somehow I still have to pull myself up a mountain. It doesn't make any sense to me, but here we are.
And sometimes
So-
both in the same day.
Yes. Oh my God, it's like a fucking roller coaster from hell. Yeah, we were doing this earlier. Like, this is it right
Down.
now.
Yeah, hormones be hormoning, dude.
Yes.
Like for real.
And I thought that we could start with the deep breathing exercise.
I'm down.
Okay. Everybody at home, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, wherever you're pulling your wang right now or slamming your clam, I want you...
I'm closing my eyes.
Okay, good. I want you to take in a deep breath with me. Did you know I found out that I was breathing wrong?
And what are we supposed to do?
I was watching this video. No, sorry. I'm taking a sidebar.
I
from
heard you
this.
go, and I was breathing through my nose. So I was like, oh, am I
No.
doing this wrong?
So, for some reason, I always like breathe up through my chest, but apparently, like your diaphragm is supposed to kind of expand when you breathe, and I've never thought about it. But if you focus on this part,
right
like,
there.
whoa, and it feels
It's like
different.
hitting
and
a joint.
I'm like, is this just like, am I just stressed all the time when I'm breathing until I like force myself to think about how I'm breathing?
Whoa.
All right, so everyone, breathe with your diaphragm or whatever it is. I'm not a doctor. I am your host, though, Molly Stewart, and I want you to join me and...
Laura Contreras. Oh.
Like, my eyes are closed and just
Mine
flailing
were
around.
kind of too.
This deep breathing exercise has gone off the deep end. I say that we just get into it. What do
Yeah.
you think? All right.
Get into it, yeah.
Oh, not a yogi, that's for sure.
I love it. You taught me something new.
I don't even know if that's true or it's just something that I saw online, and I thought that might be true. A lot of people interacted with it because there's a lot of that shit out there. But it does feel different breathing that way. I'm not saying it's better,
It hits different.
but it feels different, right?
Yeah, totally. Thank you for walking me through that.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
Ein.
Oh, speaking of walking, nice transition. I was telling you that I had my little old lady story.
Yes, please do tell.
So we were getting ready to go out, hit the gym. Everything good to go. Got all the camera bags. And there's this lady walking around on the street. So the garage door is open, right? And she's just like meandering around. So new people are moving in next door. So I thought she was maybe there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she starts wandering around. Then she comes up to the driveway. She's like, can you... Could not speak English that well, but could get out the fact that basically, could you help me? I am lost. I had my cataracts done yesterday, and I got lost driving home.
Oh.
was letting this sweet old lady drive home from cataract surgery. She got lost. She said she was in her car like all night. But
All
she couldn't,
night?
yeah, but she couldn't really understand my directions. So I finally got it out to the point that I was like, she's never going to be able to get home, or she's going to like just keep wandering around the suburb for forever. You know
Call
what I
her
mean?
an Uber?
Well, no, because she had her car.
I know, but like she can't drive.
No. Well, she
Damn.
did, because I was like, she wouldn't accept like look at the map. She's like, I don't know how to look at that. I just need to get to this and this. And I was like, okay, if I can get you out of this neighborhood, will you know where you are? Because I didn't know what else to do at this point. So I shit you not, I run back to the car. I'm like, here's the situation. Follow me out of the neighborhood, because I have to guide this lady out of the neighborhood.
Who's blind?
Who's basically blind. Don't you hate ads? They take away from the conversation. But you can go ad-free with us at patreon.com/TWND podcast. We create monthly photo sets, host Zoom chats for our dirtbag tiers, and even create short films. We have a wholesome pledge option if you want to show a little support, or dirtbag tier if you want to go all the way with us. We release episodes a day early for all tiers, and each episode is ad-free. So if you want to level up, go to patreon.com/TWND podcast and show your support. I didn't even know what to do, so I'm just like jogging alongside her little car.
Oh my God!
Guiding her out of the neighborhood. Like, what is going on? It was so bizarre. And then when she finally realizes where she is, she like blows me kisses from the car. And
But she was
drives
in her
off.
car all night?
Yeah, that's the story that I got. She didn't ask for anything. She just wanted to find where she was. Because I at first asked her, I was like, "Do you
I
have?"
hope she got home.
I was like, "Do you have a phone so I can just send it to you on the map and show you?" And she says, "I can't see my phone," and that's when the cataract thing came up. I was like, I don't even know what to do in the situation.
How old do you think she was?
Girl, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I was like,
Like
I don't-
70, 80?
like, I didn't know if I was supposed to like call someone. Is there like old people protective services? Like, it just felt like a
would have
situation.
called her an Uber.
How do you like?
You're going to
let-
leave your car here.
how
I'm going to write this address down. You can come back to it another time.
But
Pick
how
up your car.
Is there like a turnaround time for like eye surgery for cataracts? Like, it seems
I
like
don't
they should
know.
have verified.
We should look that up.
Like, because to me, it seems like they should have
What is the,
verified
like-
that she had someone to drive
Yeah.
her, or make sure she had transportation. Because it seems so unsafe. And there's this little old lady sleeping in her car all night because she gets lost after cataract surgery.
If you had cataract surgery with local anesthesia, you should be able to drive as soon as the anesthesia wears off.
Really?
If you had cataract surgery with general anesthesia, it is important to wait until you are no longer feeling dizzy or sleepy.
So she had the anesthesia one. The deep anesthesia, because I don't understand. Like, it seemed like she knew where she was. So I think like
My gosh.
maybe
Poor
she just
woman.
maybe she just like slept off the surgery in the car and then was like, I can see enough, and now I know where I am.
I picture her going straight to the Luxor where the beam is just so bright and that's the only thing she can see. And
It's
she's
like
like,
her guiding
I'm
North Star."
lost. I'm trying to get home. Is this home?
Oh my god,
Poor woman.
I felt so
Shout
bad
out.
for her. I was
I hope
like,
she hears this
so-
somehow.
she won't, but
I hope she does though.
but I just hope she made it home. That's the only thing.
Oh
But
my
that made it like was sad, but also made me laugh so much,
And
and I
this-
couldn't wait to share.
And this all comes up because I told Molly about a story of my grandma who's 94 years old in the grocery store.
And she's so
And
hot.
she had to pee twice. She's so hot. I mean, look at this. Imagine me only 94.
Oh my god.
No, don't.
Let's do an old ladies episode together. You can do my
Okay.
my old again,
And you can
be
do
old.
mine?
Oh my god, yes.
Can we?
Yes.
Okay.
I did can makeup. I can probably make something happen.
I just want you to do mine.
I want to
As an old lady.
yes, do mine. That episode was
Let's
so
do it.
fun.
Let's do
That
it.
was like I
Let's
feel
do
like
it.
the first
Let's do
weird
it.
thing that we did.
Should we do it for the patrons?
Yes,
We're doing it for
should.
the patrons.
We
By
could
the way, if you're
even-
not following us on a Patreon, what are you doing? Oops. We're
This-
not even 10
no,
minutes
don't worry
in.
about it. It's fine.
Oops.
bleep?
We're not monetized.
What the bleep are you even doing? Go to patreon.com/TWND podcast because football fantasy. Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
I know, we're being too much for him. He's like, can you settle down?
Football fantasy is. It's a fuzzy again. I hit the mic last week.
So did I. I think I did too.
Fuck. But also a beautiful transition, barring me picking my nose, to our Patreon because football fantasy is coming February 10th, and you don't want to miss it right before the big game.
Yeah, the big game's here in Las Vegas. Woo!
Oh yeah.
I saw tickets for $50,000 today. One ticket.
Man.
Yes, I did see that.
Man, if you have that kind of money for a football ticket, you must have someone that you pay to wipe your own ass.
Yes.
Like-
it was probably me. I'm kidding. Meanwhile, my grandma has to take 2 peas at the grocery store. 2. I mean, I pray that my bladder is a little bit stronger than that at 94. I mean, I'll give it to her. She did make it both times. She's not wearing diapers, so go her.
That's cool.
But-
She's like mobile. She just has
Yeah,
to peel.
But how did she drive all the way from like California to Vegas? And my mom said she didn't even have to stop once.
She like dehydrated. She pre-gamed, but like anti-pre-gaming.
She ate a bunch of salt.
Yeah, just a bunch of salt, like beef jerky, nuts, you know.
Yeah, Himalayan salt rocks.
Crunching on them like jawbreakers. She's just sucking on them.
I have a fun fact, actually.
Okay.
Himalayan salt, if you're feeling tired, putting a small grain of that in your mouth, like if you're driving long distance, if you put a grain of Himalayan salt on your tongue, apparently it raises your blood pressure a little bit, so which keeps you awake and alert. So if you're ever tired and you're going to be drowsy, and you don't have like a Red Bull or whatever energy drink you like.
Here's the thing, though. Okay,
It's a
hang
fun
on.
fact.
It is a fun fact.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that because I was like, damn, that's really interesting. And then I was like, but when am I going to have a grain of Himalayan salt?
Well, the thing is,
But if you go to a gas station, right, it's like, do you have any Himalayan salt?
No.
No, I'm going to get a Ghost.
oh yeah, of course. No, what I'm saying is everybody put a little
keep it
Ziploc
in your
bag.
car.
Yeah, in your glove compartment or your little thing.
It's just
Console.
like legal speed.
Literally, totally legal speed, you guys. We totally go for that.
You're going to be so thirsty by the time you get there, but you're not going to have to pee.
And you're not gonna have to go to bed.
See,
You're not
that's
gonna fall
what-
asleep at the wheel.
That's what she was doing. You're going to have to ask her, were you like sucking on Himalayan salt?
Grandma, do
It's like
tell.
her pre-gaming.
She's like, let's go, boys.
Before we were rolling, I was telling Laura that I want to draw her grandma pushing a shopping cart
Oh yeah, she also has to
But-
push the shopping cart.
because
Just
it's
so,
like a walker.
yeah. So
But I
she can,
wanted to make it with little tennis balls instead of wheels on the shopping cart. And
Do
if you
it.
would like to see that put on merch and proceeds can go towards,
Grandma.
yeah, we can buy grandma a nice dinner, see if she
Yeah.
approves.
She likes salmon.
We can
you
get
know,
her a
nice
shirt.
salmon dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll make her wear it and post it on the pod.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll get her a
I'm so-
size medium.
Yeah, I love
A
this.
medium.
I love this for her. Oh my god.
Go, Grandma.
Go grandma. It's nice to have a good one because my good one is no longer with us and the other one lives. Was like,
She's my only one I have left.
can live while the other survives. Yeah,
That sucks.
isn't it?
I hate that for them.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of grandmas,
yeah, because I was thinking about my grandma and just all of that. And then I was like, did I tell you that I finally blocked my mom?
no.
Mm.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Full on. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It was
Good
one
work.
of those things where I was like, I put it out there. I replied. I did the thing. I said my truth, as the kids say,
Yep.
which is like actual facts that I backed up with a huge novel. And I was like, it's probably not even going to read this, so I don't know why I'm bothering. But I felt good to get it out
I
for
hope
me.
she did read it.
I felt good to get it out for me. That's the thing. And I was like, when I was in Australia, I realized, talking to a friend, shout out, I don't want to say your name, but like we were talking about, you know, those kind of parental issues. And I like kind of said to her, I was telling her the whole situation. because we've chatted before. And I was like, and I blocked my mom. I was like, and then I realized I didn't actually. I was just like leaving that avenue open. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like all that's going to do is like, because it's also been so long, by the time anything comes back, it's going to be something that was like so overthought of, so pointed, and it's just not going to be any different, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just going to make me feel bad again. Because I feel like if there's a certain time period where it's like you need a week maybe to think about the things and how
Yeah.
you want to say something, but when it's been that long, I'm like, I'm just leaving myself up to being disappointed again,
Yeah.
and then in a mood about it for months while I overthink it, instead of just like being like, I put my best foot out there,
Yeah.
and you didn't. You guillotined it. So I'm
And
gonna
you
pull
took the
back my bleeding stump.
Yeah,
And
you
like,
took control
yeah,
of like the situation and not getting to that point again.
yeah.
So go you.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Yay!
Felt very
Oh.
adult, making decisions based on my own happiness, other
Yeah.
than like still trying to people please someone who doesn't care.
Mad respect.
Thanks.
I know my mom was like talking about, because like, so you got the mommy issues, I got the daddy issues, right? So my mom's like, so
Yin
your
and
dad
yang.
sends his love, you know, like, because they still talk. They're
Mhm.
not together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I text him Happy New Year. That was my response. You know, and I was just like, she's all, I think he really wanted to come see you for your birthday. And I'm like, okay, well, I'd like to see
Then
the
he would.
effort. I'd like to see the effort, or I'd like to see him pick up the phone and call me.
If they
It's always have to
wanted
be
to,
one-
they would.
Yeah.
If they wanted to,
Yeah.
if
Bottom
they
line.
wanted to, you wouldn't have to crawl on your hands and knees begging for it while they kick you in the face. They just would.
I mean, my dad's a really good guy. He's just not the best dad. And
Mhm.
he not like never really makes the effort to call
Yeah.
or visit, but it's fine. Like,
Yeah, no,
we're good.
but it's fine reaching that point. But it's like it's like that final moment
Yeah.
where I think you've got there before I did, because like we're a little bit off in the
Yeah.
periods. You know what I mean? Because I remember you've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And for me, I find like I've reached that point where it's just like, you know how it is, so it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Or it would have done so by now.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then other
this
people,
isn't our first day.
No.
Like, dealing with this.
and like why keep leaving yourself open to being hurt by a situation that you know is just going to be the same as always?
Exactly.
Fuck.
No thanks.
That
We
feels-
don't do that.
It
We
feels
don't.
good, man.
Yeah, it does.
Aging. What
Feels good to be high too.
I saw this thing the other day about like what advice women in your 30s would you give to women who are in their 20s? Laura,
Yes.
my lips are so dry.
What happened?
I don't know, but I think if you kiss me, it will help.
No.
Well, in lieu of that, I guess I might go to liquidiv.com and use code TWND to save 15% and get free shipping on everything that I purchase. And luckily, I did, because joining us today, we have sugar-free white grape from Liquid IV. If you've never tried Liquid IV before, Laura, do you want to tell them a little bit about what they can find inside one stick of Liquid IV?
Well, one stick of Liquid IV contains all the vitamins and nutrients that you need to really be hydrated, and it has all the B's.
Vitamin B3, B5, B6, B12,
B12,
and vitamin C, which are very, very good for your hydration station, which is your body.
Yes.
So if you think that you might be dehydrated, you probably are. If you're seeing this right now or hearing this, you are probably dehydrated, because a lot of people are. And I like to start my morning, every morning, with one stick of Liquid IV, dissolved in 16 to 18 ounces of water. I just put it in my little tumbler, take it out on my day, and I have it before I even start coffee in the morning.
It's the best. And then this is the sugar-free one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're all so good.
My personal favorite is white peach. I'm just currently out of white peach because I drink it all. But we love Liquid IV, and if you guys want to give it a try, these are perfect for a stocking stuffer, I would think, for the ho-ho holidays, or any time of year, really. I guess you could really have a stocking any time of year, but right now it's Christmas, so consider it in your gift purchases. You can go to liquidiv.com. Use code TWND to save 15% and get free shipping on everything that you purchase. Help the pod, help your hydration, or the hydration of your loved ones. Do you not care about the hydration of the people that you love?
Yes.
Do you want them to walk around all winter with chapped lips?
No.
depression, sadness. Those things can come from being dehydrated and just all walks of life, but something that will put a smile on their face is a pack of Liquid IV. So go to liquidiv.com, use code TWND, save 15% on everything that you purchase, and get free shipping. Thank you, Liquid IV, and back to the freaking show.
Ooh. Don't give up on your dreams, ladies. It's so funny. No, but really, like,
Yeah.
my 20s, I worked so hard and got paid shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I worked so hard. Don't give up. Keep
Mhm.
working hard. Keep fucking grinding. Keep doing your shit. Like,
Yes.
it's gonna pay off. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever stop.
And I think on top of that is also like while you're pursuing your dreams, and here's the thing, like you can start out with one dream and that dream can completely change. That's the cool thing about dreams.
Yeah.
They're not always the same. Even if you have a recurring dream, there's usually something different in it.
You're allowed to have different
So-
dreams.
One of the things is, and I did this too, where it's like you just put all of your effort into a relationship. Don't put in part of yourself. That's cool, but there's this period and you have this time to develop who you are, and that's by the time you're 25. That's when your brain develops. So you have that time to pursue your goals, to chase your dreams, even if those dreams change and become different things. That's still cool. It's all part of the fucking, what do they say, the plot line.
Yeah.
So when you allow a relationship to come in, it needs to be something that complements you. Because, I'm sorry, you have to be a little bit selfish. The world, like, in a way, the world does revolve around you. Now, it's not, it's like everybody's, though. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's like you're in orbit with other people's worlds. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But without you, there's none of that other stuff. It's just nothing. So it's not like you have to worry about it. So do things that are going to be beneficial, which are things like sharing your time with people and being a good person, because that all comes back in good ways. But if you're in a situation where someone is like holding you back from that, it's like that's not the time to let people have a
Yes.
chokehold on you, because
No.
then by the time that you realize what situation you're in, you're going to be mad about how much time you feel like was wasted. And it's not like oh, all of this time was a complete waste, but it could have been so much more if you didn't allow yourself to be shut off by someone else. So it's like you have to find someone who is supportive of you and who you are supportive of.
Yeah, be each other's cheerleaders.
And if you don't have anyone like that, I recommend a best friend or a dog, because like there comes a time when you actually know who you are and know what you want. You will find someone who actually respects you, who
Yes,
actually
like
values
us.
you. Yeah,
And the dog.
exactly.
This is the trifecta.
But it takes time for you to kind of realize what you need, and you're always going to have those learning periods of like, you're not always going to make the right decision just because you are putting yourself forward. Because sometimes that might be a mistake, because sometimes you have to realize how, I guess, quote unquote, selfish you should be versus how much that's going to actually harm you. So sometimes those are just experiences you have to make too. But it's all on the greater path of just realize all of this is temporary because things change. And once you have enough of those experiences, then you kind of know what it is that you want. And unfortunately, it just takes a long time to
Well
get there.
said, my friend. Damn. For reals. Like, it's the freaking truth, though. And I absolutely agree. Like, you can't have anyone hold you back. This is the time for you to, do you and grind and, make your goals and check them as you go, Like, it's prime time, baby.
I would also say too
And
that like the first when someone, it's like that whole thing of like when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
You're not going to
'Cause
ever
when-
change, or the person's never going to change.
no, and because when I think back to certain like even like friendships, relationships, and stuff like that, and all the signs that were there, time and time again, that could have ended so much earlier, if it's just like you just realize that that's
That's just
gonna
them.
keep happening, and it is them.
Mhm.
So it's like you don't have to divert so much of your time into like fixing other people, because that's not your responsibility. You have like an obligation to yourself to actually, value and respect yourself enough to focus on yourself and fixing yourself, and maybe fixing the things in you that make you want to fix everyone else, because there's a lot there.
We all
Learned in
got that.
therapy.
We all got that though. Like
Yeah.
it's like everybody, you know what I mean? We all got shit that we're working on internally, but it's just
I
like
mean, not some people, not narcissists.
that's true.
So,
They're perfect.
yeah, they're like the locusts of people. But
Dude, run away from all narcissists. Please do yourself the favor now.
new merch,
Yeah.
ban narcissists.
Yeah, they are not cool.
Uh,
Not at all. I mean, I was like telling my friend the other day too, because she had a marriage that she got divorced, but she got out of it early, which was good. Like it was like a year in, and he ended up being a narcissist. He was cheating on her, like he was like putting her down all the time, like controlling her life, then cheating on her, and then like
can
all
you
that.
not
And
lay
it's
on the cords? Can you move those
come
out a
on.
little bit from him?
He's like, I want to take
He like
control.
wants to lay on the stuff all the time.
Good boy.
And why don't you
boy.
come over here? Why don't you come
Come on.
across? Come here.
Come in the middle.
Come the middle. Come here. Come the middle.
Come on.
Come the middle. Yeah.
Aww.
There you go, boobs.
He's like, I didn't want to get in the center, Mom.
Stuck in the middle with you. I'm gonna have to let roll the couch again.
But yeah,
Oh,
so like she got out of that, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, like she left with nothing, and now like everything she had left behind, like she left with her clothes and like maybe like a few like things of hers, but like everything else that she had collected over the years, like 30 years of collecting things, it's all being sold at auction. Like, so imagine like you being married for a year or whatever, very like little time, and then everything you worked hard over like the last life, like your lifetime of like
Mhm.
being an adult, like costumes, stuff like that, or like dope shit, like, and it's like, you know what? That's really fucked. But the good thing is it's only gonna go up from here. When
Yeah.
anyone gets out of situations like that, and you know as well as I do,
Yeah.
it's okay to start over, and it's okay to have a really hard groundbreaking point where you feel like, oh shit, this is scary, and it might be, but it's not
Yeah.
for long.
Yeah. Like
Keep your head high.
even with the divorce, right? I was like, this is never gonna end. It was so fucking terrible, and I felt like I literally lost everything. I was like, I'll never be able to like recover from this. I'll never be able to get past this. And then once it was like,
Done.
and I remember I paid off that last alimony check, and I had a fucking party.
Yes.
Like, dude, I was rejoicing. And then it's like just becomes a thing that's less and less important. And there are still these little cracks and crevices from it and a little bit of fallout, but that's what happens in nuclear warfare. So you still survived it. You probably have a weird mutation now because of the nuclear fallout of leaving that relationship.
Sweet.
But it can be done. And you come out and realize how unhappy you've actually been and how badly you've been treating yourself by allowing yourself to be treated so badly by someone.
Yeah.
And there becomes this point that you're like, you start to become proud of yourself and then you feel guilty about it. And it gets less and less and always still there just a little bit, but enough to be healthy so that you don't become one of them. So,
One of them. One of them.
so if you feel like you're in a situation and it's going to be too terrible to survive, it's not, because you're a lot stronger than you think.
Because you're
And
putting up with that shit.
yeah, you're
Think
already,
about that.
oh my God, that's so true. Because
Right?
you're literally already putting up with so much that your body is at the point of like breaking down and your mind is crumbling. Yet
Naturally.
you're still alive. You're still doing shit. You're still living your life.
So that's
You think
proof.
without all of that pressure on your back crushing your spirit, think of how much you could do and how much you could give to yourself.
Yeah.
And not like just giving things, like buying things for yourself, like literally give to yourself, time to yourself, alone with your thoughts, thinking about what you want, doing things that you enjoy, like activities even. Like,
Go figure. You could actually do things you want?
Yeah.
Really? Sign me up.
I know, right? Dude, it really is that though. And like sometimes like if someone had told me that, you know, it'd be like everybody's like, "Oh, we're so supportive," and like, "Fuck him." And I was like, that doesn't like help though. That's like not stopping me from like trying to drink myself to death and like doing all of this. It's like because no one like not no one, but there were a few people who I felt like actually gave a shit
Yeah.
at the time. And those situations will kind of make you realize that kind of like with that one person who's like the big weighing force, how much other stuff you allow yourself to take on from other people because it's not as bad as that comfortable, terrible place that you're used to like surviving in. So that's where some of that like, oh, well, like I can overlook this and well, that's not as bad as this. And it's like, you'll start to recognize it more and more, but when you go through that, you'll kind of come out and realize how much toxicity you can dump from your life.
Yeah.
And it's really cool once you finally get there, and it's so worth it, trust me.
And when you do it, we'll be happy for you too. We'll be like,
Yes.
yeah, go you.
And this is not saying either like, oh, everyone should just get divorced or break up. No, it's literally
For valid reasons.
yes, for literally valid reasons. It's like your
We're not-
reasons might be more valid than you think. Like, that's all I'm saying is to like really consider, like, I'm not saying everybody is unhappy with their relationship. I'm super happy with mine.
Same.
I can't even believe that it's been this long. Sometimes I look around and I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, you're still here? That's crazy.
You haven't scared you yet? Oh, cool.
Cool, I terrify myself daily, so it's cool that you don't care.
But yeah, no, for sure. I think it's because we've worked hard to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we
And I
went through the trenches.
Yeah. And I still got to work on it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it's still like this constant, like, I write reminders to myself. And, like, when I am in good places, I make little notes that I can read when I'm not feeling
Yeah.
okay.
Your
Yeah.
future self.
Yeah, to my future anxious, stressed out gnome of a soul. Like, whatever is going on.
No,
It's not-
of a soul.
I just picture it as, like, a little, like, I've been beaten down so many times, but I'm still here. Like,
But
that's how I picture my
Beaten
soul.
down by yourself.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Not even just myself, though. It's like I had to get beaten down a lot more by somebody else before I was literally like everything I do.
No, that's true. Beaten down by life, I meant.
Yeah, that's
Life is the real word.
true. Life is a cunt of a thing. Anyway, so I did want to say, let me check notes real quick because we
Okay.
do have some voicemails.
I should check notes too. Do I have anything like to contribute? Also, are you getting excited for Hawaii?
Yes, yes. But hang on, 'cause
What?
I don't know when I wrote this, but like it just says queef for the Patreon.
Yes, we did that in the last episode.
Did
we talked
we?
about it. Yeah. Like we should do that for like when we hit 100 subscribers. You need a queef for the Patreon. Because 55 subscribers for
Fruit
the
by the
foot,
foot, yeah.
then 100 should be queef. Everybody go subscribe.
Go
I know
subscribe
you're
to the
watching this.
Patreon.
I know there's a few of you that watch our podcast. If you
Yeah.
watch it and you love us and you want to see us do more of these and, pay David,
Yeah.
like, come on, subscribe.
Support the pod.
Be part of the
Love
be
the
part
pod.
of the dirtbag crew.
Yes, and also share with a friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And family. Even your 94-year-old grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Animation or dicks that are uncircumcised. Of dicks. Animation of dicks that are uncircumcised.
battery dead now.
Oh.
Let's take a little break
Okay.
and word
Charge.
from sponsor, but
Word
not
from
for
sponsor.
Patreon. Patreon.com/TWND podcast. Dirtbag tier is only $10 right now, but if you want to subscribe for $15, that's even cooler. And you all know how much I love making content, and one of the most important things for quality videos is lighting. But who wants the same old boring ring light? You can upgrade from basic to adorable at kawaiilighting.com with code TWND for 10% off. This podcast is lit by Kawaii Lighting's star-shaped ring light. There are also heart and kitty cat options to make you feel as cute as these lights look. Kawaii Lighting has many RGB options, which you'll have seen used in many of my videos and photos. Don't be basic. Stand out with Kawaii Lighting by using code TWND to save 10% and help support this wholesome pod. Let them know we sent you.
I miss you. Oh, I miss you, babe. No, but really, we miss you. And welcome back to the show. Hey, we're one camming it, yo. One camming it. Because that's how badass we are. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show.
From Word from Sponsor, or if you're on Patreon, welcome back to the same moment that you were seeing it when we said that there was going to be a commercial and there wasn't. So,
Psych.
I know that you're excited. Could you press play on the little VHS remote? Never mind, I got it.
Oh, I was like, VHS remote. Yay.
That's called a throwback, a callback, I believe, to
Hey.
Jenna Starr, episode
126?
126, maybe.
125?
Could be. No, 126. You're correct, because 125
Ding,
was
ding,
Christmas.
ding.
Why do I keep hitting this mic?
Oh, that worked. That lined up with Christmas. 125.
Yeah,
How
I thought
cute.
it was so cute.
I love that.
All right, and speaking of cute, we have some voicemails, so make sure this is turned on.
Boop, boop.
All right.
Thank you guys for calling in. Our prayers have been answered.
They have. Can you unmute the third one?
Oh,
That's very
turn it
loud.
down?
Can you turn it down a little? What's it recording at? That's the bottom one. The bottom. No, so
this 6.
Yep. It's very loud.
Okay.
Hang on. I think we might have to do this. David, you can just cut this part. Or leave it in. I don't know. It's up to you.
Whatever.
David, you do whatever you want, sweetheart.
Do you, boo?
I can still see. I'm not blind yet.
It's so tiny. I can't see it. Bananas in pajamas.
Why is it so loud?
That doesn't sound too loud.
But there's like a hiss. You hear it? Maybe let's try that. Because that seemed pretty loud. Alright. We're going to try this again. Alright.
Hi, Molly. This is
That could be turned down. Maybe turn it down just on there more, and that will cut out
This
the
one?
buzzing because it's loud enough on the computer.
This one?
Yeah. Okay.
From the top.
Barry or Gerald Morgan, and I really need you to say something to me. To know that this girl that I've been texting, she says she is you, and she's using her.
Oh boy. No. Gerald Morgan, sir, I hope you're listening. Many times on this show we have discussed the problems with catfishing. And Gerald, I hate to inform you, but you need to know. It's not me. I'm not texting you. I am not sure who you are, but let us continue.
Name as Maria Corey,
Nope.
and she says she's Molly Stewart.
No.
I really need you to come out and say that on your podcast.
Gerald Morgan, I'm coming out. I'm bisexual.
Coming out.
And
I want the world to know.
no, I am not Mariah Corey. And I have not been messaging
Maria
you publicly.
Corey?
Maria. I'm not Mariah either. Mariah, still not me. I'm Molly Stewart. And I am
Potato.
not that person. And I am not messaging you on any apps. The only place for a reminder to the general public that you will receive messages from me, unless you're on my close inner circle, is the Only Flans page, where I bake a delicious assortment of flan. And I share
All
photos of
kinds.
them. I share photos of all of my flan. Some of it a little more undressed than others, but
Some
that
more
is where-
juicier than the others.
Some juicier than, and sometimes it's me tasting someone else's flan, if you can believe it.
Someone else makes better flan than you? No, doubt it.
No, it's not that someone makes it. It's just that all flans are
All
not created equal.
All flans
and
matter?
sometimes they need a tasting.
Yeah.
So I do be licking some flans on my page, but that is where I message people, where I message fans. I am in a 4+ year relationship that I'm very, very happy in, and I am not looking to step outside of that. I don't know who you are. We have not had a conversation, especially as this person claiming to be me, Maria,
Whatever.
Corey, Mariah, potato.
Yep.
It's not me. So public declaration. I almost said defecation and
Same.
So it is kind of like just word shit. Just say a lot and it doesn't. All right.
Next.
Oh, he left quite a few.
Same guy.
Yeah. Well, at least he'll know now. See, I've been traveling in Australia.
How come his name is different then? One, it says my name's Jerry, and this one says, hi, my name's Gerald.
I think it's the translation. Either word. Gerald, Jerry, Morgan, not Mariah.
JP Morgan Chase. We don't care. That's a different person.
Yeah, but it starts with this one. I think that one said not to be. So this, from the brief little intro that I listened to, and that one up there, he said doesn't have to be played. It's just for us. So this one is a follow-up. If you remember the guy who called in talking about his wife or girlfriend basically tricking him into her getting pregnant and having sex with her and stuff. And we were like, and we were confused because there was no context. Well, breaking Totally Wholesome Not Dirty podcast exclusive. We have a follow-up. So we are hearing from Moose.
It's about time. It's about damn time.
Hey ladies, this is Moose again. Listened to your latest episode and I couldn't believe I actually heard my voice. That was actually slightly embarrassing, especially since the fact that I didn't clarify a lot of things.
It's always embarrassing to hear your voice. I hate mine. I was actually reviewing the other episode and I was like, why do I sound like a gravelly old man? I'm just like, and like when I was like, let me lick on that puss, I was like, that's like somebody else's voice. It's not even a voice that I think that I should be able to make. Why is that coming out of my mouth? So the point is, it's always weird to hear your own voice, but you actually have a very nice, soothing voice. You could do like reading audiobooks on that Calm app or whatever to put people to sleep, which is not like an insult. It's like I need soothing voices to help me fall asleep.
I mean it in the best way. It is. It's nice.
You should submit us an intro for the podcast. Like, you sound like you can sing. You should make us a new song for the podcast. We'll play it, and then you won't feel embarrassed because you'll be like,
come on, do it.
That's so cool. It's my voice. And we'll be like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I forgot. We're okay.
Play.
Serious mode. Engaged.
That made me feel like a giant moron.
No.
Where I was just like, oh, yeah, these ladies probably think I'm a fucking idiot. But
nope, that's just a little bit aggressive.
And that's probably just in your mind.
We didn't think that you were an idiot. We were just confused because there was lack of context, honestly. And there was none. But now you're going to give us some. So.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, I'm going to try to clarify now, since it's only about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, not 3 o'clock in the morning.
Good call.
So, she did not trick me into sex. It was not a trick into sex. It was a trick into, she told me, finish inside of her, where she was like, oh, yeah, I have the morning after pill, whatever, on birth control and everything, whatever, as far as that goes. You don't have to worry about that. You can enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. And then she got pregnant, miscarried again at Thanksgiving dinner, and then I had the wonderful job, as you can imagine, of telling my entire family, all of them, that she had miscarried at that Thanksgiving dinner, as well as her family knew all about it as well.
Okay, but so I'm just curious. So for me, I would want to know, like, how far along was this that it was like such an event that you had to involve the whole family? Because here's one thing, like that kind of stuff, like, I understand how maybe uncomfortable it would be to like tell family, but like, did they make you feel uncomfortable? Because that doesn't seem like something a family should do. If anything, it should be like, oh, that's so sad. How can we help?
And then like mend it?
Yeah, so it shouldn't be like
on you. Yeah,
so that already seems kind of strange that has to be his whole thing. But as someone who has had an experience with a miscarriage, it's fucking terrible. But in the end, for me, it's like the most terrible period. It's like you don't definitely want to go anywhere, but I feel like you could have gotten away with just being like, like not having to involve
Everybody
everyone. And that is terrible.
to
'Cause
involve everyone in.
yes.
Also,
Especially when you're
like
going
not grandma.
well, especially when you're going through that, because it's like your hormones are crazy enough on PMS, whatever, menstrual week. Miscarriage is like times 10,000. It's like I have never hated myself so much in my entire life.
Yeah.
I wanted to die. It was fucking awful. But it sounds like a terrible thing. First of all, you should never trick someone. Like here's the thing, like if you want a kid, right, and your partner doesn't, you either wait until that's maybe a better conversation to have, or you're just not with the right person. Because like you don't need to have children to have whatever, but if you have one and it's like under circumstances like that where it's like if that ever comes out, it's like, oh, well, it didn't even want me, and like, why is it this thing? Like, it has to be, you're bringing a fucking life into the world. Like, you
Yeah.
have to discuss it. You know what I mean? Fuck.
It's good to be on the same page on that.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So that is terrible, but for me, like, I feel like having to tell the family would be like, I just that makes me kind of curious of like why it was so uncomfortable, or why it had to be discussed with the family in the first place. I would need to. Oh, but there's more. I'm sorry.
So it was a real nasty program as far as that goes. At any rate, just wanted to clarify that I'm not a shithead or whatever. And all right. Secondly, we dealt with a second issue. Molly was kind of calling me out on, which I'm glad you did, Molly, because some things need to be conversation. That can't just be a one-piece type deal or whatever where, you just put yourself out there and then the person's like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. No, sometimes it's a conversation. It is literally something you need to explain. So the second part of it would be the fact that, you think that I ejaculate in individuals that I don't care about. No. The truth is that those individuals, I'm always.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but it's just a little slow, and I have ADHD or whatever it is I have. I'm not diagnosed with anything, but I have a problem with my brain. It's just like, but you have to understand, like, as we said before, you shouldn't be offended by anything that we're saying here. We're just people talking based off the limited information that you give us. And it's like that's kind of basically how you described it. So I'm curious about the follow-up. But please don't feel like you have to justify yourself to me of all people. Like, who am I? I'm fucking nobody. For all you knew, I'm just like
We
a
are
little
nothing.
AI creation. We are nothing. We learned that with Jenna. And it really doesn't matter. I think I've had a few conversations with people recently who have had something like blow up and get a lot of interaction on social media and stuff, and they're like, and it's so hard to deal with like this and that in the comments of other people, but I think I've just been doing it for so long that I'm used to it, and maybe I don't consider that with other people, but it's really just because I've discovered that nobody's opinion matters. Nobody's. Like, we're just here having a conversation because we have similar opinions, or we want to hear each other's opinions. But like, no one's opinion of you actually matters. It's kind of like how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a shitty person, deep down, you're going to feel shitty and be shitty to other people.
And you're not
And
gonna.
I don't think you're a shitty person. I'm just saying that like people on a whole are a spectrum of feelings and emotions, and people are going to hate you, and those same people might love you someday, or vice versa. And that's just kind of like how shit is, like, because you can only control yourself. So that's the only thing. Just wanted you to know that my opinion doesn't matter, and I only have the show because I pay out of pocket to keep it running.
And carry on.
Protection, things of that sort or whatever. But they're one-night stand type of deals. I don't love them, but sometimes you can't get love any other way. There really isn't, I've tried to find a woman to be a wife, somebody that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, but it hasn't happened for me. But, sometimes you get lonely.
That's fair enough.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, because there are.
It's true to be. It's okay to be lonely, but you also got to be okay with who you are
Mhm.
deep down.
And it's like, I think that and it's not even like me calling you out so much or anything. It's just kind of like, it is a pattern that isn't necessarily like a bad one, but it's not necessarily something that's going to help you progress towards your goal of finding someone who is a good companion for you. And like we've said before, I think on the show a lot of times, is that sometimes people are just there for the amount of time that you need them
Hmm.
in your life, and then that can change. And it's like, you're not going to have like maybe one relationship forever. And some people are lucky enough to have that, I guess, or boring enough, who knows, but whatever, they're happy. So it's just like, it's like you can't, expect that. And then if you're going to keep going down this route of just one night stands and not investing too much and, kind of beating yourself up emotionally in other ways, it's kind of like, well, at that point, I don't know that's necessarily healthy for you. I think you're just kind of like turning something off that you don't have to deal with personally, but I'm not anyone important. Like I said, one thing that I just recommend is, I've had situations like, feeling, well, sex doesn't matter and really you don't need a relationship. And it's cool to be on your own as well, but it is really nice when you're able to find someone that you can actually be yourself with, someone who supports you, someone who's good to you when you're down and when you're up, and someone who isn't bringing you down all the time. And it can be very, very hard to find. And sometimes I think we close ourselves off from those good relationships because it's easier to just kind of like stay in what's easy,
Hmm.
which is just like one night stands or
Or
things that don't matter.
non-confrontational or
hmm
whatever.
But I think at that point, it's like, if that's something that you're asking a question about, then I think that you're kind of already putting yourself on the path to want to do something different about it. Otherwise, I don't think that you would follow up about this message in the first place. And I don't know that you would have sent the first one either if you weren't kind of like sensing a little piece missing. And I think something that could be very beneficial is to just to talk to somebody who is not like a close friend or someone who is completely impartial and
Non-judgmental.
whose job it is to kind of listen to the story that you have, poke where the holes are, and help you find something that can maybe not just mend your relationships with other people, but mend your relationship with yourself, which then allows you to be a lot more open and not as devastated in seeking relationships when they don't work out, because you're still comfortable with yourself.
And she doesn't mean literally poking other holes.
No, I mean that.
Kidding.
That too. Bottom.
It's like, ooh, poking a hole. Mind. Immature mind.
That was so good.
And wholesome mind.
That was so good.
Anyways.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I think we don't think you're a terrible person or like a piece of shit or whatever you said. I can't even remember. But it's literally just us commenting on something with limited information. You gave more information. And I think that all those things aside, it's like, if those are things that you still dwell about and think about, there's definitely things that you could be discussing in therapy. And therapy isn't this big, scary thing. It's just kind of like, here are the things in my life that are shit. Here are the things about myself that are shit. And how can I make those things not be shit anymore? How can I make that like fertilizer and turn it into something that actually grows instead of just goes through the same old patterns? So I think it could be really beneficial, and I recommend therapy to everyone. Even sometimes think that I might want to go back.
Everybody has a use for therapy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a healthy way of coping.
Yeah, because sometimes things are too big. Like, even if it's not something that's traumatic or whatever, sometimes you just feel like things
Overwhelmed.
are too big to put
Yeah.
on the people around you. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you with this. I don't want to put this on you. So then you take it on yourself, and
Or
it's
your
hard.
family or whatever it is. Like, I mean, even with me around family lately, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not fair to them that I'm like this around them. Like,
Yeah.
they just want to spend time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you
Yeah.
know, like,
Like,
but-
what do I do?
yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
and then when you think of it overall, it's like, okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah. So I think it would behoove you to try.
Behoove.
It's a good word.
I love it.
It would behoove you to try out therapy. So we're not sponsored by anyone, but you
No.
can Google plenty of things. One is like BH, so just consider it, because that's what I've used in the past, and I found it very helpful. So, but speaking of family, you have family to be getting to No?
I do. Yes, actually.
Oh.
I'm celebrating my birthday month.
Super birthday.
Boo, boo,
Before
boo.
we go, do you have time for an email? Because we did
I
get
do.
an email
Yes.
that I want to make
There's
sure
always time for our listeners. Trust me.
I was listening to the newest episode of the podcast, and y'all asked to hear some crazy stories. Here's one of mine. My ex-girlfriend and I bought this new rabbit toy, and this is back in the day when they were not rechargeable, so we put the 2 AA batteries in the rabbit toy. I had one of those, except it was a butterfly. It's the first toy that made me squirt.
Damn. Battery operated.
Yeah, it was very unsafe. So unsafe.
Let's continue with this email.
I was using it on her, like went up to kiss her and felt heat on my hand. When I looked back down, I see flames coming from the toy where the batteries are. I scream, "Oh my God, it's on fire," and pull it out of her. I ran to the bathroom and started slamming it on the tile floor.
Like a dead fish.
He's just taking this fire like, "You go out, flame."
Well, good thing you got it out of her. Go you.
Oh my God. Trying to get the batteries out. That makes so much more sense. Like he's trying to knock the batteries out of him. Like,
I thought he was trying to get the flame out.
oh, I'm so stupid. All right. So she brings me a butter knife. No. I'm like, you can't put metal on batteries. She's yelling at me, it's going to explode. And I'm yelling back at her, I got this. So finally the batteries flew out of the toy and the fire stopped. Thank God she had shaved and didn't catch her pubes on fire. And we never bought cheap toys again. I thought y'all might get a kick out of that story, and I love y'all's podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome. And yes, we loved that. Like,
If I'm not mistaken, this is also same email as a new username from our Patreon. So thank you for subscribing to our Patreon.
thank you.
Speaking of which, our Zoom chat, shout out to John who joined our Zoom chat, because I don't know where everybody else went, but it wasn't the Zoom chat.
I mean,
So-
we waited for everyone to get off work.
Yeah.
It was a Monday.
Y'all said that time. We was on it that time.
That was a time.
And I feel a little bit let down. What was football on? You had to watch a bunch of men run around in tights.
Foosball.
Playing football.
Well,
playing
football
with balls.
fantasy.
Slapping them around. Throwing them. Disgraceful.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Silly us. And it's
But-
almost Super
But. Football fantasy. Coming to patreon.com/TWND podcast February 10th to get you pre-gamed for the big game. So you should
I love that.
you should go check it out. It's super awesome. And in fact, to end the show, how about after we do outro, David, I'll give you the trailer. And for those who have not seen it yet, you will see the trailer for Football Fantasy, our beautiful brain baby that we as new filmmakers are bringing to you.
It was so fun.
It was so good. All right. So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to be liking and to be subscribing and to hit notification bell on YouTube. YouTube.com/@TWND podcast. You can follow the podcast on X and Instagram @TWND podcast.
And me? Oh, hi. You can follow me, Wham Glam Artistry on Instagram or OnlyFlans.
OnlyFlans, where we kiss a lot of flans and Laura films it all.
Yes.
So you can follow me on Instagram @thisredheadisSFW, on TikTok @LeaveMollyAlone, and on Twitter /X @CallMeMissMolly, MISS. And share with a friend, because we need more people listening and downloading, and leave us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. These outros are getting really long, but thank you for coming, and we will see you Monday.
Come.
The Totally Wholesome Not Dirty podcast is presented by TWND Productions, created and hosted by Molly Stewart, co-hosted by Laura Contreras, and produced by David Warne. In a world where everyone and their mother has a podcast, a world where platforms censor and demonetize creators. Happy ho holidays, because we're f***ed. It's not a glitch. We're not going to pay you because for some undisclosed reason we're revoking your monetization.
The Totally Wholesome Not Dirty podcast presents a tale of love, growth, and loss. A story that will pull at your heartstrings.
We're never going to Hawaii!
And put you in the mood for the big game. Coming to a laptop screen near you on February 10th. Are you ready for the fantasy?